Today is October the 1st. This is the regular board meeting for the Mayor and Board of Aldermen for the City of Ripley. Glad to have you here tonight. We've got a good agenda and hopefully it'll work out real well. As we normally do, we start our meetings with a prayer, and I've got Pastor Robert Sims here, 1979 graduate of Ripley High School. Came through when I was there. And he's the pastor of Oak Grove Baptist Church. And Pastor, where is that, below the prison down there?
In Fort Phillips, located in Fort Phillips, exactly.
Way on, out in the country. So you want to come up here and lead us in a prayer tonight?
Let us bow. Most gracious and Heavenly Father, once again, Father God, we want to start off by saying thank you. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for right now. Thank you, Father God, for coming together, Father God, to try to resolve the issues of Lauderdale County. The issues that we have ongoing and forthcoming, Father God. Father God, let them all come together, Father God, and decide which is the best way for Lauderdale County. Again, Father God, give everyone health and strength, Father God, to keep it on. Then, Father God, bless the ones that's bereaved right now, Father God. Bless the ones that are going through financial trouble, emotional trouble, just trouble, Father God. Then, Father God, just thank you for waking up this morning, starting on another day's journey, Father God. Thank you for this day, Father God. Thank you for the one, Father God, to come to this meeting, Father God, and try to solve our issues again, Father God. Again, Father God, like, thank you for your goodness, thank you for your kindness, and showing up. Thank you for your mercy. In Christ Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Remain standing for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
He's got a meeting in Holly Grove that he's got to go to, so he's going to exit fast. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Robert resides in the Gene Stanley house there in Washington, and went to a birthday party, 96-year-old lady, Miss Reed, Saturday, and that's the church she goes to, and she goes every Sunday. She lives here in Ripley, and she's the oldest parishioner in Pastor Sims' church, so I thought that was pretty neat. But once again, I appreciate everyone being here tonight. Before I forget, of course, you know we've got our two student representatives, and Aisha Gingery was the homecoming queen at the homecoming festivities at the Ripley High School. We're proud of you. First item on the agenda, consider the September 4th, 2018 public hearing minutes is printed and delivered in agenda package. Ms. Alston makes the motion, Mr. Hankins makes the second. Discussion. Mr. Chipman?
Yeah.
Mr. Hankins?
Yes.
Ms. Treadway?
Yes.
Ms. Alston?
Yes.
Mr. Beard?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Okay. Consider the September 4th, 2018 minutes is printed and delivered in the agenda
So moved.
package.
Second.
Mr. Hankins makes the motion, Mr. Chipman makes the second. Discussion. Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Beard?
Yes.
Ms. Alston?
Yes.
Ms. Treadway?
Yes.
Mr. Hankins?
Yes.
Mr. Chipman?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Consider the September 18th, 2018 special call meeting minutes is printed and delivered in the agenda package.
Second.
Is that Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Made the motion, Mr. Beard, second. Discussion. Ms. Treadway?
Yes.
Mr. Hankins?
Yes.
Mr. Chipman?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Beard?
Yes.
Ms. Alston?
Yes.
Okay. Consider the 2018 financial statement is printed and delivered in the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Chipman makes the motion, Ms. Treadway the second. Discussion. Ms. Alston?
Yes.
Mr. Beard?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Treadway?
Yes.
Mr. Hankins?
Yes.
Mr. Chipman?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Correspondence, Ms. Buckner?
No.
Okay. Consider application for off-premises beer permit by Hutton Kumar I. Patel, Ripley, Twin Market, do business as L&M Market, 310 Eastland Avenue, Ripley, Tennessee, 38063.
I'll make the motion, Mayor.
Mr. Chipman makes the motion. Thank you, Mr. Beard. Mr. Beard makes the second. Discussion. We've got two of the Patels here this evening. Y'all raise your hands. Yeah, the gentlemen are back there. When will they be able to proceed with this, Ms. Buckner, after this reading?
We will, they will be able to get their beer permit tomorrow.
Okay. From you. Y'all will come to City Hall and get the permit from Ms. Buckner. And as soon as you do that, you'll be good to go.
Thank you.
Mr. Chipman?
Yes.
Mr. Hankins?
Yes.
Ms. Treadway?
Yes.
Ms. Alston?
Yes.
Mr. Beard?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Consider surplus property sealed bids received and opened September the 25th, 2018. We have a copy of that this time.
Yes, yes.
Mr. Robert is normally here, but I don't see him here tonight because he was one of the gentlemen that purchased that lot on Michael Street. And then Mr. Barlow, too.
Right.
Okay.
Mayor, I'll make the motion to accept them all.
Second.
Okay, is that you, Mr. Chipman, made the motion?
Yeah.
Ms. Alston, second. So that's Eastland Avenue, 285, Ms. Donna.
Yes, sir.
Calvin C. Barlow, 1495.
That's correct.
Michael Street, 438. Robert Garrison, 1306.
That's correct.
And Sunrise Drive, Calvin C. Barlow, Jr., 875.
That's correct.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Beard?
Yes.
Ms. Alston?
Yes.
Ms. Treadway?
Yes.
Mr. Hankins?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chipman?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
What are we gonna do about the remaining lots? We're gonna continue to offer them at these prices?
I've had other calls some calls on some of the other pieces of property interested at a lesser amount. They're not interested at the amount that is listed on this. So I
Would
don't
we
know.
maybe open it up for offers and bring those offers to the board? I would put that in form of the motion,
Okay. I mean, we need
that
to-
we will accept
I'd say that'd be
offers
fine.
for the board to accept or refuse, rather
Are
than
we
putting
making
a
a motion
minimum
to go
price.
down? Is that what we're talking about? Or are we making a motion to accept
To entertain
No.
offers.
No,
the taxes?
To entertain offers.
to
Yeah.
accept offers, subject to board
Entertain
approval.
offers?
Not necessarily accept the offer, but to entertain the offers. So I think.
That's what my motion is, Mr.
Okay.
Hankins.
I got it.
To entertain, I'll use that word.
Okay.
Offers to be brought to the board for approval or disapproval.
Yeah. And who seconded that?
I like that.
And who seconded that?
I think Paul did.
Well, yeah, I did.
Mr. Hankins made the second.
Well, our list is getting shorter, and this may help it get even shorter.
Right.
Let me understand this now. For example, we have a $5,000 on our paper, and they offer us 4. Will we accept it?
That's up
That
to the
would be
board.
Up to us.
That would be,
We'll decide on that.
Ms.
time.
Butler can only accept the offers and bring them to the board the
That's
next week.
correct. The way our minimum bids were calculated right now, the original one, I believe we did Was it
Move it down to
50%?
50
We did
to
55,
35.
and then we went to 50% of that, I believe.
And that's correct.
But you also remember we're putting this back on the tax roll too.
And reducing workload on public works.
Well, and that's correct. And of course, some of these bids, you know, we did it by the appraisal on the assessor's office, and some have, the house has been demolished.
Yeah.
So they're, you know, the bid is actually higher than the actual value, other than what's stated.
Sure.
So,
I mean, I just see it worth a try.
I agree.
Go ahead and read the motion, Ms. Donna, please.
just motion to entertain offers on surplus property. That,
For our approval or disapproval?
correct.
Got a motion and a second? Right? Okay.
Yes, sir, Alderman Davis made the motion and Alderman Hankins made the second. So we want sealed bids, right? Don't you think?
That would be good.
I mean, I think we need to
I
have
think
sealed
that,
bids.
yeah, that would be, understand, sure, that would be in order.
That we can accept or reject.
Well, or do you want to just leave
Well,
it
they
in
can,
there?
they can give you
Just,
a verbal offer.
okay.
I don't necessarily think it needs to be sealed.
Since you're gonna, be talking about an
Or,
outline meeting. I'm
what about it,
assuming-
attorney?
Well, sealed bids would, of course, provide against there being any claim that somehow information about an earlier bid had
Okay.
related to,
That's my thought.
been related to
I'll go
a
along with that.
bidder. So
That is
sealed
the-
bids will guard against
To
that.
accept sealed bids
I just like, would prefer that.
or offers, whichever you want to call them.
Okay.
You second that one, Mr. Hankins?
Sure.
Oh, we're putting a date on,
Well, we will have to have a date on there. We can, I'll get it in the paper tomorrow, and,
Well, our
You
next
come back
board
before the
meeting will
next board
be
meeting?
November the 5th, so October 31.
A week before should be good.
Yeah.
yeah, it's fine.
Okay. We're ready to vote. Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Beard?
yes,
Ms. Alston?
Yes.
Mr. Chipman?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hankins?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Alston? I mean, Ms. Tribbley?
You don't get to vote twice, Harry?
Mr. Harris, we approved your bid on the Michael Street lot.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Board.
You might be
Thank
interested in
you, God.
some of these others. Okay. Consider proposed ordinance amending Title 17 refuse and trash disposal. You want to follow up a little on that, Counselor?
Yes.
Tell us exactly what we're doing.
This is an amendment to our existing refuse and trash disposal ordinance. Following up somewhat from our recent discussion about bulk garbage, the first section there addresses sanitation officer. We are adding a definition to the definitions in Title 17 to provide who is the sanitation officer, because the ordinance currently provides that the sanitation officer can write citations, but it doesn't say who the sanitation officer is. And since we don't have anyone who actually holds that title, we're just specifying who the sanitation officer is. And that would be the Public Works Department head or any supervisor within that department. And Mr. Ford said his number of supervisors is very limited, so this won't be just anyone who can write a citation. Section 2 there amends the existing Section 110-2 and substitutes that paragraph that you see there. Now, let me tell you that this is virtually the same language that's already there. It just deletes a small phrase. And the reason for that is this. The section, as it's currently drafted, says that when you're citing anyone for a violation of Chapter 17, Section 110, which includes all sorts of types of violations, including the bulk garbage, trash can sitting out too long, everything. says that you have to give them 10 days notice. If you have to give everyone 10 days notice, then essentially you're spinning your wheels on trying to enforce the trash can issue and the bulk garbage, because if they have 10 days notice, you can't get them cited quickly enough to address the trash left out too long. You know, they can remedy the condition essentially at any point within the 10 days, and you'd go back and cite them again, and then remedy it again. You'd never get anything done. The problem was that there was a tiny little phrase in this section which says any provision or any violation of section 17-110. This section was, the notice section, was never intended to refer to all parts of this, of 110. It wasn't intended to refer to any violation under the refuse and trash disposal. It was intended to refer to a specific circumstance where a property owner allows their property to become dirty or overgrown to the point that it becomes a public safety issue. At that point, the law, Tennessee law, allows the city to enter upon the property after due notice and remedy the condition and assess the cost to the property owner. That's the only time that this notice provision ought to come into play. But because it had that tiny phrase in there that said, or any other violation of 17-110, it sort of brought everything under that notice umbrella. We don't want everything under there. So it just eliminates that to let Mr. Ford, the police officer, the police officers, or the code enforcement officer go ahead and just write normal citations for any other violations of the ordinance. Is that clear?
And it's my understanding, if it's correct, I said a while ago, that we still got to have a public hearing on this amendment.
Oh, yes.
Okay, I'll make the motion to accept this.
Motion by Mr. Chipman, I need a second. Mr. Hankins makes a second. Any discussion? Mr. Chipman?
Yes.
Mr. Hankins?
Yes.
Ms. Treadway?
Yes.
Ms. Alston?
Yes.
Mr. Beard?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Okay. Consider, sorry.
I'm sorry, we're just gonna do our public hearing like next meeting maybe, or whatever, before that now.
Consider grant contract between the State of Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security and Ripley Police Department for high visibility enforcement of Tennessee traffic safety laws in the amount of $5,000. Mr. Hankins, you want to elaborate on that, or?
Well, this is the chief is here. If you have any questions about it, we can ask him. This is a regular just enforcement grant from the state that they give us to spend to increase enforcement. Is that correct, Chief?
Yes, sir. We will probably use it for saturation, probably like we had the last time.
Usually that's what, yeah, usually it's saturation for traffic.
Is there a match to this?
Not that I'm
No,
aware
sir,
of, no.
it's just money they give us.
Just, do we want $5,003? I'm going to make a motion that we
I'll second.
accept it.
Okay, Mr. Hankins makes the motion, you make the second, Mr. Chipman?
Yes, sir.
I've got, who does the status reports on this? I've got that written down. Who does the status reports?
James Deal, he's our liaison between THSO.
How often are those done?
Every 2 months, I believe.
Okay. Because I know one time we had an issue with.
We did.
I don't think we will anymore.
Mr. Hankins,
Yes.
Mr. Chipman,
Yes, sir.
Ms. Treadway,
Yes.
Ms. Alston.
Yes.
Mr. Beard,
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Okay. That takes care of the agenda. Item report, Parks and Recreation, Director Randy Danley.
Thank you, Mayor. I apologize for being a little late. October is a busy month in the park. We started our soccer games tonight. We were supposed to start last week. We got rained out for ages 4 through 13. We do that on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And more than that, if you come through the park on every Monday night this month, we have a special needs softball going on. We have kids playing at 5 o'clock and adults playing at 6. Everywhere from wheelchairs to whatever, and it's really something to see, so it's really an awesome program they got going on. Other than that, the Family Fitness Center started their new fall sessions out tonight. I think she's got a 2 session for one thing going on now, or a 2 month for 1 month, or something going on. Just, you can call her at the center. And they're also hosting their Client Appreciation Day, which they do every year, and on October 27th. And Mayor, I don't think I got you one of these before I got here, so. The Client Appreciation Day they do every day. They do lunch, and any client is more than welcome to come and have lunch with them on that day.
When is that going to be?
October 27th.
What day is that?
That's a Saturday.
Okay.
They always do it on a Saturday. Other than that, we wish you happy Halloween. That's what we have going on.
Mayor, on behalf of the Park and Recreation, we're trying to get you big-headed. We're going to congratulate you on your medal winning, or whatever you did.
Let me tell you something, I represented the city of Ripley well.
You evidently
They
did.
refer to me as that guy down the road. Seeing that I'm coming out of Shelby County. The district is involved, and I don't know how they do it, but it's DeSoto County, Mississippi, and they compete in Tennessee, Shelby County, Fayette County, Tipton County, and Lauderdale. So I represent the city well.
Thank you.
I qualify.
Gold medals.
Congratulations.
Gold, silver, and bronze.
One of each.
Yeah. Thank you. Public Works Superintendent Johnny Ford.
We've been working on our drainage over the city. We've got a big drainage project we're working on out at East End, and then we're in the middle, right at the end of the construction of the wall we're putting out at East End. And that's about it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, that wall is absolutely beautiful.
I have to commend you on that. Good moves.
Are we gonna be able to pull that level of dirt down a little bit or not?
The first one on the right,
Yes.
I'm sure I can.
I mean, it just, for a
Yeah.
little more visibility, if I can see around that bend before I go around it, it'll be a whole lot safer.
Did y'all finish on Peach Street, Johnny?
No, sir. We're gonna try to get that started in the morning.
Okay.
If you can pull that bank down a little more, that sure would be nice. You may not be able to, according to the property owner. You deal with the property owner and see what you can do.
I had one resident bragging on the wall that lives over there.
So, like I said, I think we'll,
If
I'm
somebody
hoping
gets
we'll
that
complete
wall
it
down, they
by
gotta
the end
know
of
it.
the week.
How long will that take on Peach Street? 2-3 days?
Yeah, probably just 2 or 3 days, Mr. Young. There'll be a lot of little just fatigue-ish,
Yeah.
long-term working with it. But it's going up
Three
and
gentlemen you got working over there are good ones. 3 gentlemen you got. And I told Mr. Ford when he completes it to have the newspaper, Amber, take a picture with the workers over there by the wall. Thank you. Police, Alderman Hankins.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to ask Chief Lynn Gould to come forward and give our report as we're supposed to the department heads. And also, Lynn, if you'll do me a favor, we didn't put under correspondence, there's a letter that you got, I'd like you to read too, if you've got that in.
I do that.
Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to thank y'all for the big surprise I got from your last meeting.
You're welcome.
But I do thank you for your confidence and your vote of confidence. I do appreciate that. First thing we've done,
Roll that chair up here. Come on up here a little closer.
I'm pretty loud.
I think everyone here knows Mr. Chief, Chief, law enforcement, 38 years. Is that correct?
Shows, don't it?
You're talking now and I'm listening.
One of the first things we did was we went to 12-hour shifts because we're so short-handed and we're having difficulty covering the shifts. So our officers now are working from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. They're working 4 12-hour shifts and then they get 3 days off. Then we're still having to have them cover some situations arise, but most of the time they still get 2 days off. We were having some people that were working 6 and 7 days a week and it was just wearing them out. So we've done it, this is the second week. It's working fairly well now. As soon as we get enough help in, we'll go back to the 3 shifts, try to cut down on the overtime, but it's working right now. We had an in-service class this month. We have 1 more to go, so we've got 3/4 of our department through their training. We did our firearms training, we got everybody through with that. We had 15 applications come in. We started doing background checks today. We weeded one out already, so we've got 14 now. So we'll get the background checks done, get everything, we can start to do the interviews. And I do have a letter. This is the good kind of letter. This is from the hospital. And it says, "Dear Chief, the city of Ripley is lucky to have a great group of dedicated officers that work tirelessly to keep our city safe. They are called to the hospital often and always respond in a timely manner. We don't thank them enough for what they do for us. The hospital had an incident at 2 a.m. on 9/19/18 where we needed assistance from the police department. They responded quickly as they always do. They took care of the incident while keeping our employees safe. Our staff has been singing their praises. We would like to commend the following officers for their assistance and professionalism: Officer Rayner, Officer Starks, Officer Williams, and Officer Barreau. We appreciate everything your department does for the hospital. Thank you. Sincerely, Michael Layford, CEO."
That could be a factor, all these towns, small towns that live in their hospitals, that could be a contributing factor, lack of law enforcement control at issues that need to be addressed. I mean, we're fortunate to have a hospital in the first place, and with one, we need to protect our investment there for sure, and that's one way to protect it. Well, that's nice.
Any questions for anybody?
I've got a comment. I didn't want to interrupt your report. But this past month, I've had one person that called me and one person I bumped into. Both made a positive comment and expressed their appreciation for increased police presence in their neighborhoods. And I was glad to hear it. I was very glad to hear it, that it was noticeable that police are doing their job again. And I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And Chief, if you want to go over any of these,
Oh.
some of the regular
Will
items
you
we
read
do
it?
from time to time,
We can read it.
just a couple,
Okay.
just a couple, tickets, that sort of thing.
Okay, we had, get my paper here. Had 45 speeding tickets issued. We had 79 traffic citations all total. That's no driver's license, no insurance, running stop signs, such as that.
Safer roads.
Trying. We did confiscate 3 weapons off the street, 2 out of 1 car. So that's always good when we get weapons off the street. And there was also drugs in that 1 car with the 2 weapons, so it's always good to get drugs and weapons off the street. We answered 412 calls. That's less than this time last year, which is good. It means people aren't having as many problems as they used to. So that's always good. We investigated 37 crashes. That's 2 down. Anytime you lower the crashes, that's always good. Had 10 funerals. That's 3 less than last year, so that means people are living longer. So that's always good. Our burglar alarms went down, so that's always good too. And our miles, I know it's been asked in the past about how come our mileage is down. It's because we don't have as many people driving cars right now, so we don't drive as many miles. We can start getting people hired back again. It'll start jumping up. But as right now, each officer's driving a little bit more, but not as much as they were beforehand. So we're staying 3,000-4,000 miles under what we were driving, which that means we save that much gas. So that's not a bad thing either. I hate to go over these numbers like this because y'all got them right here. Y'all have any questions about any of this? That's the main thing.
I appreciate the presence being better and the number of tickets. Ms. Barnes and I would appreciate it if you try to do something about noise control on Jefferson Street.
Okay.
Is that correct, Ms. Barnes?
No, the speed is, it was at 51.
Okay. We'll start putting people on Jefferson Street,
See what we
speeding and
can do,
noise.
but,
It's not very noisy, but that's, I'm telling you, that's speed.
I catch a lot of noise. Well, I'm on that turn there, it goes Tucker.
Okay. Yeah, that probably is a noise spot. All right, I'll
Thank you,
pass
Chief.
that on. Just give me a call anytime you've got something like that. Give me a call, and we'll start directing people there.
Good.
appreciate it, thank you, Chief.
Can they sit in your driveway, Ms. Myers?
Sir,
Can they set the car in your driveway?
anyway, just slow
You
down.
sit in my front driveway.
Okay,
That's outrageous.
I don't mind.
I will pass that on. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Fire department, Mr. World.
Thank you, Mayor. September 2018 monthly activity report from Ripley Fire. You see we've responded to 123 responses for the month. Firefighter Long has been at the academy getting his EMR certification. I attended our quarterly fire chiefs training during the month of September, and the department trained on structural firefighter attacks, both interior and exterior attacks. Department activities, RFD assisted, we provided medical support at the Lauderdale County Fair. We attended the Labor Day Parade. RFD staff attended the Patriotic Day ceremony on the square for September the 11th.
Thank you again for presenting the flag, we appreciate that, and thank Mr. Lee for the flag.
I should say that was a good investment that Devco bought that flag, and we're honored to fly it every occasion we get off of the ladder truck.
Appreciate that.
That's a sight to see that ladder raised with that flag on
It's
it.
impressive.
Chaplain Nolan attended the September 11th ceremony at the Fire Academy at the Fallen Firefighters Memorial as part of being in the Tennessee Federation of Fire Chaplains. He was one of the chaplains that went up and supported the family members of the fallen firefighters in the state of Tennessee during that ceremony. And the staff attended community events. As y'all see, y'all have a little pamphlet there. As everyone knows, October is Fire Prevention Month. Got a little flyer there with the theme for this year from NFPA. It is look, listen, learn, be aware fires can happen anywhere. That little flyer you have is just a sample of things adults can do to look, listen, and learn about fires. Also want to let the board know that on September the 8th, Captain Conrad, Firefighter Lewis, and Firefighter DePriest attended the 9/11 stair climb in Nashville again this year, supporting and representing the Ripley Fire Department. They climbed their 110 flights of stairs in the Tennessee Tower in honor of the first responders that were lost on that day of 9/11. You also have an invitation to our chamber coffee that will be held at the station this Friday morning from 7:30 to 9. That's our kickoff for Fire Prevention Week. Of course, Fire Prevention Week starts next Sunday, runs next week. We're in the schools this week because they are out on fall break next week. We started at the primary school this morning, and we have already spoken with roughly 500 pre-K through second grade children to date. We have the rest of the schools scheduled, and the daycares throughout the city will visit this month, and we'll have folks in and out of the station for tours anytime this month that they would like to come in. Thank you, Mayor.
Now, when are you gonna move the firefighter down there to Lee?
We're supposed to have him up here by Thursday. They assured me they would be through constructing it by Thursday, so we'll get him out from under the flag down there in the front yard by Thursday and get him up here on the square.
What is the deadline, Mr. Lee?
It's been extended.
Oh, to when? When is the deadline?
I extended it to this Friday.
Okay.
I had some people contact me today that wanted to do one.
I'm gonna give you time to talk when we finish these
Sure.
reports on yours. And of course, the decoration there on Washington is sharp too, Chief, which y'all did.
Yes.
That's gonna put pressure on the park, Mr. Danley. See that decoration?
Yes, sir, I'm trying to recruit me some help.
You see it, Billy? Billy, did you see it?
Ma'am, see what?
Did you see the decoration at the fire department? It's really
I
nice.
don't know about a fire department, you know, really. You don't let me go by.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief Earls. Thank you all for all that you do, and thank you, Chaplain Nolan, for, we know that you have to get up and just go when they call you. We want you to know we really appreciate everything that you do. Thank you, Chief. Thank you.
Where are we distributing these flyers? Where?
These right here?
Yeah.
To the kids.
To the kids.
You been taking these to the school, right, Jim?
Well, we're giving the children fire helmets. Those will be for the adults we run across this month.
You want to hear them?
Okay, thank you. Ripley Gas, Water, and Wastewater Superintendent Scott Nelson.
Yes, sir, the SCADA project, we finished up the assembly of panels. We have a total of 15 panels. There's 6 of them that are actually located throughout the county at gas regulator station sites, and we have a remainder of them here within the city limits, the tanks, the water treatment facility, and different valves for our system. But those panels have been assembled and they're ready to be installed. Hopefully this month we'll begin that process, and then we'll actually establish the communication to our new software, which will hopefully be able to run and be able to run our system without any flaws. So the 2018 CDBG update, we are waiting to hear back from Mr. Kent from Nashville. We've done a scope revision, including a force main, since we had, we're looking at probably having a little additional money left over through the bid process. So we're doing a little bit of a scope change, waiting to hear back from him. As soon as we hear back from him, we'll be able to do the environmental, the bid process, and so forth. So we're expecting that to happen hopefully this month sometime. The water meter transponders, we have finished installing 2,025 as of today, out of about 3,100 total transponders. We've updated our billing records, and we've done this through utilizing electronic work order applications to streamline the process, get it done quicker. The water treatment plant on September the 8th, we did have a lightning strike on our SCADA communication system. It had some damages. We did have a little bit of low pressure over the city system, but through that we were able to get the system back up, running through reestablishing the communications through 2 different black boxes that were installed. Their elevated storage tanks are back in service. The standby generator, we had to do some repairs on it. It's back in service. Aerator number 1 has been cleaned. It's finished. It's actually put back in service hopefully by the end of this week. Aerator number 2 will be scheduled to be cleaned next week. Wells number 3 and 4, they're in the coating department of Lane Christensen, and once the pipe is coated, which this pipe goes about 800 feet in the ground in order to pull the water from groundwater. One of these wells hopefully will be back installed, be reinstalled next week. For the gas department, we're doing our large gas meter testing at this moment. The TRA inspection went great. We have no violations this time. They will be returning this month to do a public awareness inspection. And also the gas department pilot lighting. That's starting this month. The time period will run from October the 16th through the 25th, and the ad will be in the paper, I believe, this week. So if anybody wants their pilot lit, just take a look at that schedule and give us a call. And we'll be glad to come out and light the pilots during that time.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
How long does that take on those individual water meters when they work in the yard for those gentlemen?
It's kind of a 3-layer process. We locate the meter, and then we come back and install it. Then we come back and we actually do the electronic work order, which is done through a computerized system.
And how many did you say was the total on that?
We've got 3,100 meters that we're having to take and replace the index.
And my call said, what is that blue flag in my yard for?
How much longer will that take to complete?
I believe probably by the end of this month we should be complete.
In case you don't remember, those batteries that we're replacing became defective, and the manufacturer replaced the batteries at no charge. And they're pretty expensive pieces of equipment. And we're out the installation is all wear out, and it's a 10-year battery life.
And then with us installing, we're getting a full warranty again. So,
It's been going on for a long time.
Okay, thank you. Ripley Power and Light, Alderman Beard.
Thank you, Mayor. Board voted to support the Lauderdale County Fair. Board voted to sign the TVA rate change contract. This is a rate change that will be effective on October the 1st, today. TVA raised our wholesale rates to all power distributors by 1.5%. This increase will be passed through at retail to Ripley Power and Light customers. The board received the Economic Development Partners Grant application for the spec building located on Barrow Road. The board agreed to pay the 5% matching fund necessary in the event Ripley Power and Light received the grant. The board is in the process of reviewing the qualification necessary to receive a Ripley Power and Light scholarship. Thank you, Mayor.
On that third item, I'll elaborate a little more on that, Commissioner. They're applying for site improvement grant, and we, as in the city, couldn't do that because we've got the site improvement grants at the Walker East industrial property out there, so they're going through the county. The county has made the application, and then Power and Light, if they receive the grant, to improve that building for a possible prospect to locate in there. It's pretty good facility, and it's got a lot of acreage, so if they can get that grant and improve it, it'll make it more inviting to possibly get an industrial prospect in there. And that's all I can say on that. But they're going through the county because we couldn't do it as in the city, because we have received 2 site improvement grants for our properties out there. So the county is going through them, and then Ripley Power and Light, of course, the board voted to do the match, the 5% match. Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. So the Ripley Housing Authority, Alderwoman Alston.
Yes, sir. The meeting was held on September 24, 2018. The meeting was called to order by Chairman Hunt. Chairman Hunt asked Mr. Jones for the director report and referred the board to the one-page management report. The occupancy was 140 families on the waiting list. 510 people live in the 265 dwellings. The average household income is $9,382. Director Jones introduced the new maintenance supervisor, David Hardy. Hardy comes to Ripley Housing Authority with 7 years of maintenance and supervisory experience. Continuing under management activities, Director Jones presented the board with the latest demographic makeup of Ripley Housing Authority. 11% are elderly, 44% are minors, 45% are adults between the ages of 18 to 64, 37% are male, while 63% are female. Under new business, Director Jones informed the board that the Tennessee Housing Authority had announced its 2019 competitive grant funding through Tennessee Housing Trust Fund. Director Jones recommended that the board approve Ripley Housing Authority submitting a grant application to build a 3-bedroom house located at 274 Hammond Circle. The home would be housed by 3 residents from the Helen Tucker Center. After a period of discussion, the resolution was passed. The meeting was adjourned. Thank you, Mayor.
I'll say one thing, the executive director, he calls me, he keeps me informed, he's really doing a good job over there. Okay, under mayor's comment, first thing I've got is Mr. Lee.
Yes.
With DevCo.
We got square crows as you've looked outside. They're probably about half of them up right now. They'll be, I can't let the voting start for until I get all of them up there. And then you'll have your voting on that. Then we'll have the voting, or rather we'll have them judged after that. They will be up for the entire month through Halloween, October 31st, which is a Wednesday, and that's the night we'll do the trunk or treat. I've got an article going in the paper today, and I'm trying to get, I'll put something on the radio, I'm trying to get neighborhoods, instead of giving candy out in neighborhoods, to get with their neighborhood and come up here and set up, pool their candy together and give it out here, because we can lock off the square, right, Chief?
Yes, sir.
And make it safe for them, right?
Yes, sir.
There you go. And then have the kids up here doing it. Then the streets aren't swamped with kids running back and forth and cars and stuff. This year we're doing something new. We're going to have a dig for treasure. I'm going to have a trailer load of sand in there, and I'm going to throw $50 and toys in the sand. We'll let 2 and 3-year-olds go in and we'll time it. Let them get in there and dig for a short time and find stuff. Then we'll let 4 and 5-year-olds. So we're just going to keep it to that age group where they can have fun and do that. So that's what we're trying to do. So if you will, try to spread it around to your friends, neighbors, kinfolk, and see if they can't come up here. Last year we had 31 different locations giving out candy, and I've already had several churches that said they're going to come up here and do it also. So that's sort of what we got going right now, sir. Any questions?
How many do you have on the square right now?
Right now it's around 30 that are up there. They keep slipping up. They're not filling their sheets out for me to keep up with them. So I'm getting squarecrows without their application. So I've told everybody I've got to have it. But I said this Friday is the deadline. They've got to have it. But I gave out 2 squarecrow frames today. And then I had a call later on, and the lady said, is it too late? I said, no ma'am, as long as you got it up Friday. So it's catchy.
How many did you have last year?
64. I want us to become the squarecrow capital of the world is what I'm trying to do.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I was up here at City Hall Saturday, and there was more traffic coming around this square this weekend, going over there taking pictures and stopping and walking around.
Well, everybody's getting where they're really competing against each other, trying to beat somebody. I mean, you know, it's sort of funny. And that's another reason. People are waiting that did it last year. They want to see what somebody else has got, see if they can tweak theirs a little bit. Right, Randy?
Yes, sir.
See there?
Parks and Rec get theirs up there?
They're working on it.
Ours died from last year, and we didn't win, so we're not probably going to put ours.
It's not about winning, Mr. Chipman. It's about participating.
We didn't even get an honorable mention, though.
I told Randy I thought it was wonderful.
Oh, I did too.
Now, we did get the DEFCO check, didn't we?
We did.
What was that? How much was that, Ms. Donna?
$565,293.
You aware of that, Mr. Lee?
No, what was that? I didn't hear, sir.
You can talk to her after the meeting.
Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, get with Ms. Donna
All
after
right.
the meeting. Okay. Also under my comments, Mr. Chipman, City Beautiful sign. Let's find another place this week.
I think Doris had already called in.
I think we have a
Did you
place-
not recommend a place, Lee?
We have a place in mind.
I think Lee recommended a place this time, Mayor.
Okay?
Yeah, I've got with Randy.
Okay.
Okay? What about the street paving, Mr. Ford?
Still haven't heard anything from Ford.
Let me tell you all something. The only thing that I do not like about being mayor is when my wife goes to a place and she gets accosted about something that's city business. She went to the library, she's a prolific reader, and had a person come up to her about paving on the streets, and paying taxes, all this kind of stuff. And, you know, if they got a problem with it or an issue with it, I've got broad shoulders, you know, I can handle it. But when they attack Deanna,